just open your eyes to life. 'Cause I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, no, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be the one that says I told you so. Where did all this time come from now? What do you mean when you say you just need some other kind of thing to fill you up with everything that you think makes you feel alive? If cows were meant to be eaten, then they would not be made of meat. That means I'll be much stronger without you, 'cause you won't slow me down. No, no, I will not change my mind. 'Cause I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, no, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be the one that says I told you so. Don't go on a worldwide mission without eating a proper meal. I say that you need the protein from meat. Tofu just won't cut it, never again will you change my mind. 'Cause I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, no, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, no, 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 I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, no, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be the one that says I told you so. Every day I go down to the pond, but on the inside I feel that something's wrong. I pick up my loaf of a Wonder Bread, tear off a piece, throw it back at the duck's head. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. Ooh, I go home to mow my lawn instead. I gotta spend me time, I gotta clear my head. This ducks are bad, not friends, you see, making life rather crappy for you and me. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. You think that you're wrong there.
The ducks are coming, the ducks are coming.
But you just been talking smack.
The ducks are coming, the ducks are coming.
You feel that you're out of love.
The ducks are coming, the ducks are coming.
'Cause you're just a stupid duck.
The ducks are coming, the ducks are coming.
We used to be friends, those ducks and I. Wasn't something I said, or maybe something I tried. Well, can't we all go just be good friends? High fives and big hugs now till the end. Now the ducks do their thing and I do mine. Yet news still travels on down the line. Life's being told I can't take anymore. Watch out now, waterfowl. This means war. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. You think that you're wrong there.
The ducks are coming, the ducks are coming.
But you just been talking
The ducks are
smack.
coming, the ducks are coming.
You feel that you're out of love.
The ducks are coming, the ducks are coming.
But you're just a stupid
The ducks are
duck.
coming, the ducks are coming. ducks knows where he stays, cause you know the pimpin' ducks don't poop where they play. Quack, quack!
Quack, quack. The ducks are coming, the ducks are coming, the ducks are coming, they're coming, they're coming. The ducks are coming, the ducks are coming, the ducks are coming to steal my sanity. The ducks are coming, the ducks are coming, the ducks are coming, they're coming, they're coming. The ducks are coming, the ducks are coming, the ducks are coming to steal my sanity. Quack, quack. Quack, quack.
Is it going? Is it going? Which one of these is it? There we are! Alright! Can't hear myself because I have this plugged into the wrong thing. Hey everybody! Welcome to the 10th anniversary, anniversary, I don't know, Feel Good Make You Sweat. The EP we, I guess I don't need these right now. We released in 2009 on this date. I have too many windows open now. It's a delayed. Let me move this. I am not a good streamer. There we go. So now I'm just looking at this. Anyway, sorry. 10th anniversary. Feel Good, Make You Sweat. We released... I agree. Got my dog down here. November 13th, 2009. The Feel Good EP. I don't have a copy of it out here. Maybe you can see it on my wall. Everybody get sick for a minute while I move. There it is. Feel Good, Make You Sweat. Along with all of our other albums, because I'm a narcissist and I put the stuff on our page here, or on the wall. Anyway. Okay. So in the same vein of what we did, or what I did, I guess, for the Your Music Is Bad 10th anniversary stream last December, I just wanted to bring that up. Stay out of there. Nope. Stay out of my trash. Don't ever put anything in the trash when your dog is in the room with you, because they're going to want to dig through it. Thought we would go down a little bit of memory lane, watch some clips, watch some promo videos. Most of this was on, or is on, YouTube. Some of them are just on our Blu-ray that we did. Tell some stories building up to some things about the songs themselves, about the EP, and then stream the EP from start to finish. It's not very long. It's 5 tracks, 3 actual songs, and then a rehash of my snacks. And then also, it's the 10th anniversary of our show at the Village, the second show that we played at the Village, because we did our CD release at that show. Thanks to our good friends in Spinning Jenny and Jessica 7. They invited us to that show, but we'll get to that. For now, let's take a gander at a little bit of backstory of 2009. So here's a couple of clips. One of them is only on the Blu-ray that we made. Another one is floating around YouTube somewhere. Excuse me. So here's a couple of clips. Let's take a look at them, and we'll go from here. So thanks. 2009, the year everything changed. After a 6-month hiatus, we made a one-night-only show with Manly Grandma's Manly Bachelor Party in May. We experienced a change in lineup again as Chris left and Travis joined the party that May, just in time for the funk that was Sir William Keller in August after another mini break. From August to December, we hit the ground running with 12 shows all over the state. We performed at nearly every major venue in Central Arkansas and somehow managed to keep it fresh, more or less every time. We took a few shows to find our new balance with new members and a new sound, but it didn't really take too long to click as we started to write and debut 4 brand new songs that fall. Unemployed, Mama's Boy, Feel Good, Make You Sweat,
I feel good. good. I make you sweat, I feel good. I make you sweat, I feel good. I make you sweat, I feel good.
And a demo of Aguas. 2009 also saw 2 crazy Halloween parties, another battle of the bands in a concrete box, a show at a nightclub that had no business during the week because nobody clubs on a Wednesday night, a skate park, Hot Topic, and the Village not once, but twice. We danced a lot, had more friends join us on stage for adventures, and even did this once.
Take it for a minute.
Probably the busiest of 2009, but by far had the most fun.
We just got ourselves a new guitar player named Travis. Travis is freaking awesome.
I was, at that point, a big fan of the band, and the opportunity came along.
Playing drums. I'm playing drums, you. I'm playing drums. Playing drums.
I remember after our show at the soundstage, we were all having dinner, and he and Tracy were there with us, and he was like, hey, if you guys ever need another person playing guitar, or if you need somebody to switch out for you, because he plays like everything, but guitar especially, if you guys ever need it, he goes, I'm down for it, I'm more than willing to help you out.
Up. I get to see inefficiency in a cup. No way. Can say I hate my job. Ain't no job. No way. Can say I hate my job. I hate my job. Hate my job. Nevermore. Nevermore. Nevermore.
All right, and now we're back. So I'm still shuffling through here, but you guys are on like a 20-second delay, so you get to fill in afterwards. So that was just a little bit of an introduction-ish, sort of. So we're all going to travel back to 2009 when, you know, Wi-Fi was still coming into thing. People were using laptops and sometimes desktops. Were smartphones a thing in 2009? Oh, dog. Okay. This is going to be a long night. I've got a dog. My dog, Benji, one of many, acting like it's the end of the world down there. He is farting up a storm, but it's too cold outside right now for him to be outside. We just moved recently. Why am I giving you guys this extra day? Doesn't matter. Anyway, because I'm getting distracted here. So 2009, different time, 10 years ago. When we last left it, I guess, if you want to pick up the story from when we did the stream before, at the end of 2008, we took a break because I was going back up to school out in Idaho, so we were going to take a good 6-month break or so. We were going to come back for a weekend in May because our buddy Mike was getting married, and we were going to play a bachelor party show for him at Juanita's. We did do that. There was some lineup changes and some drama, some things that, you know, over the last 10 or so years I've sat and I've thought about, and I read old conversations that I have here and there, and I go, okay, well, a lot of miscommunication happened and some things that probably could have been handled better, and hopefully I can do something about at some point. And but anyway, that's all. For various reasons, Travis volunteered to step in and play guitar for us because Chris was it was going to be a little bit more difficult to get us to practice, and he wasn't going to be as available as we needed him to be able to practice to do this show. And I didn't want to come in after 6 months of doing nothing for having, to just jump in and do a headlining show, which we'd never done before, because we were going to headline Juanita's, which was awesome at the time. So it ended up being Travis was going to play guitar for us at that show, and then we would figure out what we were going to do from there. We played the show. It was great. We went back on hiatus until over the summer when I came back, because I was doing school in the winter and spring, and then at the end of summer we came back and we started playing a lot of shows and doing a lot of things. Our first practice back, Bill happened to be in the area, and he was there, and it's in a video somewhere, I'm sure, but basically what happened is Bill was hanging out with Derek. We were practicing in Derek's parents' garage at Derek's house at the time, and we're like, oh, hey, Bill's here, how's it going? And Derek's just like, you're in the band now, you should be in the band. And Bill's like, okay, all right, yeah, that'll be great. So Bill started playing keyboards with us. That's how we roll at T3, pretty much. So Bill joined, and then Travis ended up joining on permanently over the summer. So we were now a 5-piece. We were a new lineup. We played a show or two, and we were getting into the groove of the new sound and the new dynamic, and how things were going to roll from here on, how we were doing things. And then as things progressed, we played more shows. We got more cohesive. This was honestly 2009 is my favorite time during T3. We played a lot of more music later, and we grew as friends and musicians and things later on. But we had practices pretty much every week on point, and we not like little here 30 minutes an hour like we started doing later. We had practice for 4, 5, 6 hours. Okay, maybe not that long, but for a long time on Saturdays usually. And we'd just hang out, and then afterwards we'd go out to eat somewhere. We'd all hang out. We're all doing stuff all the time. It was great. It was wonderful. Just a super exciting time. Airplanes. Super exciting time with T3. And the other cool thing is that we started slowly to kind of start writing new music. Because even though we released Your Music Is Bad on our last show in December of 2008, then we did nothing between then, but we had been playing and writing those songs for over a year, so it had been almost 2 years at that point by the time that Travis and Bill jumped on and I, not really getting how music industry, I guess, we're not in the music industry, but how that kind of stuff works. I was sick to death of those songs already. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want new music. So we started to slowly write new music, as well as play stuff from Your Music Is Bad over and over and over again. Almost immediately, we started writing Unemployed. Like the first practice we had, we pulled that out. That was something that Derek, Nick, and I, had been messing around with the previous summer. And then we kind of shelved it. We tried coming back to it once or twice and couldn't do anything. But then Travis jumped on, and it was like, all right, well, this is kind of going somewhere. And then Bill putting keyboards on it made it immediately work. You're like, oh, this is it right here. And then not too long after that, what I guess is the first actual song we wrote as a 5-piece, all 5 of us cohesively, Mama's Boy, in late August, early September, something like that. And I'm getting the itch of I want because I always want recordings of things. I always want everything here. I want it hold it in my hand. I want to package this all together, and I just want stuff together. So I was like, we want to record again, and make another CD, because that was not just such a horrible experience before, because it was recording Your Music Is Bad. We talked about that before. It was fun, and it was rewarding, it was worth it, but it was just an awful experience. I was determined to make it better this time. And so a lot of things led to wanting to record another album, but we didn't have... Well, we had were those 2 songs, and for some reason, we hit a plateau there. And maybe it was because I started booking us for so many shows. That fall, between August and December, I think we played like 9 shows. We played at least once a month, maybe twice a month, and then 3 times a month, maybe one of the months. I don't know, at least 1 to 2 shows a month for the rest of the year. So while we were kind of writing, we mostly just focused on, you know, getting together and making our show better and goofing around and making a whole lot of different things happen and wiggling and bouncing and jumping and letting Bill do his stuff. So we didn't write quite as much as I would have liked to, but that's okay because we did jam a whole lot. We just never put pen to paper, I guess, so to speak, other than those 2 songs. And then there wasn't ever really like a reason to put it all together, you know, because again, remember, this is 2009. This is before streaming. I don't know, we're still in the age of MySpace, so you still kind of kept that old school format of CDs and albums, sort of. Digital singles were still, I mean, they were happening, but they were still a couple of years off. You know, there's no Spotify, there's no, what do the kids use to stream these things? There's no Amazon Music and all that kind of things. You pulled your songs off of MySpace and I think mostly iTunes, I guess. But at that point, nobody had any idea how to get your stuff on iTunes, other than like through a really convoluted distribution service, which we did through a company that it's still up. No, it's not on there anymore. It got taken down eventually, because Your Music Is Bad got a copyright infringement problem. I don't know. We've talked about that before. So, you know, putting out one song at a time didn't seem super feasible at the time, although it would have been a good idea and it would have been great if we could have done that. But the setup and to get people together to record was such a challenge, that it almost felt like, don't do this until we have enough material to do something. And we didn't have a reason to at the moment, so I just kind of stuck it on the back burner. And then a couple of things happened that led us to getting to, you know, the reason why I'm streaming today, the Feel Good EP, which, ta-da, there it is. I don't know why it's there. In one of the shows that we got booked for in September, I was contacted by the name of this company at the time, because they changed names like 3 or 4 times because they were a scam company, and they're still out there. I know they are. I think now they're branded as Afton Live, but before, at that moment, I think they were Gorilla Music, or they might have been a name before that. Okay, and I say a scam. They're not a scam. They offer you, they're one of these pay-to-play companies, and if you don't know what those are, that is a basically probably just a group of people who scout out different cities, and they will fork over the cash to rent out a venue for the night, and then they will put on some big rigmarole about them being a big company and hosting a battle of the bands and doing all this kind of stuff, and they will contact local acts, mostly ones that don't have any established presence anywhere, fill them with a bunch of crap in their emails saying, you guys could play through a huge show and do all these kind of things and make money and all this kind of stuff. Basically, you know, tugging on what would be, you know, I don't know, like the rock star dream when it's not actually going to happen. And what they would have you do is you'd set up a whole ticket system, and they would want you to put in all these tickets, sell all the tickets, and then, you know, pre-sell tickets. Sorry, I'm getting looped around. They pre-sell a bunch of tickets, and then, you know, you would get a better slot in the evening. But what would almost always happen is they would book out, I don't know, they might book out Juanita's, they might book out some other smaller venue, but it would always be like a Wednesday night or a Sunday night or just some other crappy thing, and you're like, nobody's going to come to a show for a bunch of bands that nobody's heard of on a Wednesday night, or especially a Sunday night. Later on, they started doing that, and I'm like, that's just a bad idea. So I avoided it mostly, and then later, that's a story for later. Like a year later, I started like, yeah, let's just take all the shows they've got. But there was one day that they sent us an email saying, hey, how would you guys like to play the Village? Now, the Village, for anybody who lives in Little Rock or around Little Rock, remember years ago, if you don't remember the Village, it used to be the old, I want to say it was the Cinema 150. It was a movie theater, basically. It was like a big dome, and it had, theater seating, and they pulled out, I think they pulled out some of the seats and just made a big open, like, pit area, created a big stage, excuse me, and this, at the time, was, to me anyway, I don't know if it was for everyone else, but it felt like the plateau of as far as we were going to get, you know. You had different levels, I guess, or when you're playing in a band, I guess there's different levels. You know, you start, you know, you're playing in a house party in your friend's garage or their living room. You're like, okay, here we are. Then maybe you go to an actual venue, which is probably a bar that has a stage, and then maybe you have an actual music venue, and then you move up from there. In 2009, there were a lot of music venues here in Little Rock, but not anymore. They're all gone now. But to me, it felt like you were making it when you got to Juanita's. Juanita's was like that plateau of, here are touring bands that are coming through that you probably have heard of them from a few years back, or they're just now starting to pick up steam on the radio, or when MTV was playing music or something like that, you know, but they weren't quite super mainstream, but you're like, oh, I've heard of that band, or that song was on the radio last summer, and they'd come through to Juanita's. So getting to play at Juanita's, to me, was awesome. I'd seen a lot of bands that I really looked up to, and then getting to there. From there, the next step up, you go to, you know, there's the Rev Room, which was kind of similar to Juanita's, only it was a bigger venue, so a little bit bigger bands. But then there was also this weird overlap between that and arena shows, which, you know, you have, what is it even named at? Simmons Bank Arena now, but then Verizon. At the time it was Alltel. It's always going to be Alltel Arena. Come on. You know, big arena shows. But between those two, you had the Village, where if you couldn't fit an established act in Juanita's or the Rev Room, and they weren't quite big enough for an arena show, they went to the Village, you know. And on a level of, I'm pretty sure in the same year, the year after, I think Snoop Dogg came through and he played there. So that's the level of popularity in that. Somebody on his level, if we come into Little Rock and he's not playing an arena, that's where he's going to go. So anyway, we get an email and they're like, do you want to play a show at the Village? And so I'm like, I don't care what the scheme is. I don't care what anything's about. Yes, absolutely. And it was a pay-to-play kind of thing. Sell tickets, do all this kind of stuff. But it didn't matter. I'm like, do you guys want to play the Village? Yes. All right. So we got to play the Village. It was great. That was a really long run around just to get to this point, because that's how I tell stories. We met our good friend Jesse Park of Jessica 7 there at the Village, and through that we got to meet a few other people. Through him, we also met the cool folks with the band Spinning Jenny, and I'm really bad with names, and I haven't talked to him in a long time, and I can't remember anybody's name in that band, and I feel really bad about it. Sorry, guys. But about a month or so after that show, because we kept in touch with all of them, we added them all on MySpace, we're all friends and everything. I think they played that show too, I'm not sure. But they were talking about how this was either the first annual or they had been doing a collaboration show between those two bands, sort of not so much a festival thing, but they would play, both of those bands would play, and they invited a couple of other bands to play with them, and they were like, hey, we like you guys, we want you to play this show. I'm like, absolutely. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna rent out the Village and play at the Village in November. I'm like, okay, yes, absolutely. Because again, going to the Village makes you feel like a real rock star, because that's a big venue, and they would actually shine all the lights and do all the cool stuff for you. It was a lot of fun. But this was different. This was also on a Friday night, which is great. But this was not part of this banner of, you know, all of these, like, it had to have been like 15, 20 bands jammed into 30-minute time slots every every other 15 minutes there, playing to their paltry crowd of like 10, 15 people that would show up to it, because that's pretty much how you did it. And then one of those kind of shows, you'd have the first act, they'd have like their 4 fans there, and then their fans would all leave, and then the next band would show up, and kind of thing. But I'm like, well, here's an actual show, so everybody coming to the show is here probably to see the headliners or one of the other bands, so it's like it's going to be a consistent, it'd feel like a real show, in other words. And so there was a lot of things we wanted to do to make it special, other than the fact that we were going to get to play a longer set. But I'm like, well, we have these couple of songs, let's record them, let's put out an EP. We have like a month to do it, and let's do that. So anyway, so that's what we did. In late September, I'm pretty sure is when late September, early October, somewhere in there, something all that. We got growing with it, and let's find. Hold on, I've got these in a weird order here. We all sat down to record. Well, we got together to record. I am really scatterbrained. It's been a long day today, and it really stinks in here. Thanks, buddy. Benji. Yeah, he's ignoring me, but he's letting it out on both ends there. Anyway, so late October, we started to record what would be the Feel Good EP, and it went much smoother. We had a much better idea of how to record this, how to do all these things, but we did it over the course of 3, maybe 4 days, and we spread it out, which caused it to be a little bit less stressful. None of these like 8-9 hour recording days where we had to start over and do everything from the beginning. But yeah, Bill, Derek, and I got together. We recorded drums, keyboards, drums and keyboards in one day, and then Nick came in to do bass another day, and I think Travis did guitar on the same day, and then we did all vocals like another day after that. So maybe it was 3, maybe it was 4 days, I don't remember. Anyway, let's take a gander at, as I say too many times, recording the Feel Good Make You Sweat EP. So let's take a look at that. When we're trying to do things. You're a douche.
I can do whatever I want.
I do what I want.
I didn't do anything to you.
Bill's a stinky face. He smells bad.
He makes you sweat.
Makes us sweat. What are we doing today, Dirk, senor?
I'm just sitting here behind a drum set doing this.
What are we doing in general today?
I don't know, recording something or other. Some kind of songs for something. Round things. Yeah, it went over here.
Oh.
He just walked it right over here. That's what he did.
It went from there to here.
Yes, that's what it did. And in my house.
Gross.
It's pretty gross.
Yes. Are you excited about recording today, Derek?
It's pretty fun to record things. This is the fun part, and it's always the part that takes the shortest amount of time. Then the work happens.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Ready to go! I'm ready to go! Oh! My snacks.
My snacks.
Take 95.
Get out of my garage!
That's why Mommy didn't want you in the buggy!
Yeah!
What? Okay, I'm gonna record drums now. That direction on the south side of the street.
Oh, right down here then?
Yeah, because next door is 24.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
You just cost us studio time, you old jerk.
Okay.
Back to and drummers and
Please, dude. Are you okay, Bill?
Barely. Almost drowned in Dr. Pepper.
That first noise was amazingly good.
Oh, man.
Try it again, Robert.
Okay.
I forgot how much fun this is.
Every time we record drums, we have to do something to them. Today we stuck a blanket under there, which fell down. We stuck a hat, a Dora the Explorer hat, and some sort of Sears catalog or
No,
something.
actually, that is a Life Ventures Sunday School guide.
Oh.
Yes.
And then, as always, we have a plethora of Band-Aids all over the door.
This is terrible.
If you remember before, there was few, and now there are many.
Well, the two that were there before have stuck it out, and these are new additions to the family.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that my drums are being held together by Band-Aids at this point.
I'm pretty sure that if your drums ever got stolen, you'd be able to pick them out anywhere.
Yes.
Nobody has drums like that.
That's pretty awful.
Yes. What you doing, Bill?
Not right now.
Okay.
Not right now.
How's recording going today, Bill?
Very quickly. I guess it's going good. We could be possibly done recording all tracks by my birthday, which would be awesome.
Well, we're gonna make you record on your birthday because we hate you.
I know.
My name is Dirk.
I haven't figured out.
I'm happy again. We're recording a new CD today. It's gonna be fun. Yes, lots of fun. Because my name is Derek. And my skin is falling off. Because this is a cheap, cheap t-shirt. Ha 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 ha. Hi, Bill.
Hey,
What's going on now?
we're fixing to record bass for Make You Sweat due to Nick not being here and only me and Derek knowing really how that song goes. And then we're going to teach it to the rest of the band.
So you're inventing stuff without anyone else.
Yeah,
That's rude.
it's rude, but
It's the Bill band now, apparently.
no. It's the.
Does Bill have the throbbing testicles? No.
Feel good, make you sweat. I was thinking about Eddie Murphy. I was saying, in the hot tub, I make you sweat. And I was just like, at the end of one of our songs in a practice, I just, feel good, make you sweat. And you were like, oh my God, we've got to keep that. And I just like, fuck, no, I did it again. I have to not go on impulse with you guys because anytime I do something retarded, you make me continue doing it. And I haven't learned yet. Maybe when I, stop doing since I've stopped doing other things, maybe I'll start thinking more before I do these things, but I don't know, because at the same time, it's also, my retardedness creates a lot of the magic in this band.
correct.
Yes. There goes my first try. Oh, fuck.
Next already a failure.
Oops, that was the wrong key altogether. Wow. Nope.
You played the right notes. They were just
Oh, I always play the right notes. I just
baby notes.
Yeah.
I think your face leading up to that was the best part. You're like, oh,
That was kind of the whole purpose of that.
yeah, I know.
It was good except for the blub at the end of it.
Blub. You can make your
That was funny. It like kept doing it. Like it did it again right before he hit the button. It was like boom, boom, boom.
You can mishmashable.
Mishmash your face.
Gross.
I wish I would have caught that because that was the funniest laugh I've ever heard you make. You sounded like a 13-year-old girl.
There it is. 13-year-old girl.
I can't keep doing that. I get lightheaded. I'm sorry.
That's because you have no lungs.
Yeah. Well, you have no hair.
Oh.
Mulder and you shut up. Respect your elders. Bam.
Hey, Bill. Act your age, not my shoe size.
Oh, really?
Aww.
Squeak.
Really?
It didn't do that when you did the fade in, did it?
I didn't notice it. I used to have all manner of hats like this, yeah. I think I'm rather dashing now.
Yeah, it's not a bad look.
You've got that one that every time you take a picture, it just brightens up.
Boom! A halo hat.
Yes.
He gets to dance to his own makings.
Never gets to do it on stage, he's gotta do it now.
I think that'll work.
Think it'll work?
I think
Alright.
you caught it.
That was cool.
It was a good idea.
It got sloppy at the end. Oh my god.
Dude, guitar solo. That's where it happens.
Actually, I'll need it.
This is ghetto. That is so ghetto. This is awesome.
This is the
Who
best
needs big
thing.
budget record
deal.
companies paid for studio time?
When you got this and this.
We got
all this stuff.
We got this.
we got Bill and some imagination.
Feel good. I feel good. I feel good, good, good. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good, 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 good.
Very nice.
There are people here who just don't know what to do.
As stupid as some of the things I do are, for some reason you guys think that I have these brilliant ideas. and it never makes any sense. But what in this band makes any sense? Nothing.
Very true.
Stop trying to make sense of it. You people are crazy. Why are you watching this? Why are you looking at me right now? Stop it. Don't. No.
We love it.
No. It doesn't feel good. It might make you sweat because you're embarrassed, but that's about it.
Back at it. All right. So, yeah, we had a lot of fun recording the Feel Good Make You Sweat EP. Excuse me. And now we're gonna try this and see what happens. I'm gonna start a little bit of and see if we can't get. Oh, oops. Okay, can't do that on here. I guess I'll do it on my phone. We're gonna try to get Bill added in. Can do it through my phone. I guess I can't do it. I'm not good with these kind of things. I should have set this up beforehand. Sorry, folks. Give me a couple seconds and I'm gonna get Sir William connected with us here. Or at least try anyway. Let's see who picks up. Somebody's gonna pick up. Oh, no, Travis picked up. And Bill.
Nice.
All right. I didn't mean to hit everybody, but I guess I did because I don't know how this stuff works. I also should have done this through the browser so I could connect us in there, but maybe I can do it like this? Maybe. That's not going to work. Okay, well. So Travis is sort of there. He's busy doing stuff, but Bill's with us. Let me turn this up a little bit. Hope you guys can show up on the audio because I got the microphone right there. How you guys doing? Tired. You guys are great. You guys are super excited about this.
Are y'all getting like? I'm curious if like the delay is actually going to cause a feedback.
If you have your phone right next to the video, yes, it will. But
no, I'm running through the computer.
Oh, okay. Well, I can hear a little bit of an echo, but other than that, no, you're good. I've got everything muted on this end. But anyway, so Feel Good EP, thoughts, memories, anything.
Is it bad that I don't have that one on my phone?
No, that's not bad.
The
because
only one I have on my phone is actually the first one we have.
The first one. You mean your music is bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Well, why don't you have the other ones on your phone?
Because I haven't purchased them.
You don't have to purchase them because remember, everybody, they are for free on our Bandcamp page. Hooray! You can download them at any point in time.
Hook you up.
Yeah.
You know some people? Yeah, the only one I have is actually the Throbbing Testicles EP.
Oh, okay. Well, it actually, the Feel Good EP is not available online anywhere. I never put it up because it's not as good quality as everything else, and we were re-recorded, Unemployed and Mama's Boy, so I didn't feel like putting it up. But everything else is on our Bandcamp page. They're all on Spotify and Amazon Music, I believe, and a few other streaming services. So, yeah, they're everywhere.
That's good.
Yeah.
So Travis, how are things with you? I hadn't seen you in forever.
Yeah, I know. Dadding it up.
Dadding it up.
Dadding it up. That's about it. I get the best reception in my daughter's room, so I'm laying on her bed.
Nice.
Classic.
Like I'm waiting on a call from a boy.
Oh. That's what it is.
Hilarious.
It's them testicle boys giving you a chat.
Yeah. Work off for a boy, end up getting some testicles.
There you go. That's the way we want it. So, I mean, Bill, you were there for recording Your Music Is Bad, and then you also helped record in Feel Good. Do you remember how much easier or not easier it went for you recording the Feel Good EP?
I definitely think it went easier because we didn't have to break it down like every time we set up. But I think we had a notebook actually to actually figure out what the levels were and how everything hooked up to be able to actually do it versus like just kind of having to figure it out every time.
Right. Yeah, since we didn't have to tear down every other day, and what we recorded the first one for like a month or something stupid like that.
It was like 2 months.
Ugh, it's dumb.
The first one was, and then it was like, I think by the end of it was like winter. It felt like winter in there, in that garage thing.
Oh yeah, because Travis, your house was very, very cold. But that wasn't an actual room. That was a converted garage, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there was like a wall AC unit for air and heat. I hope you had some weight on you because stay warm.
Yes, I did not have weight on me. I was always cold. That's all right. It was good anyway. But yeah, for the Feel Good EP though, we recorded it over like 3 weekends, something like that, and it went pretty smooth, except for the very beginning when whatever was going wrong. As you saw in that video, Bill, you got kind of mad. You couldn't figure something out.
Don't bother me. I'm trying to fix it so we don't. Because like for some reason, like me and Derek always did that together, and he always wanted like, well, you didn't figure it out. I'm like, dude, you are like 3 times smarter than me. Like you should figure this out.
No, instead he'd act like an asshole and be like, "No, I can't do it. You do it."
Pretty much. But I also didn't want like everything to get lost because that's happened.
Yes.
Or just be further behind when everybody's time at that point was short. Probably longer than today, but shorter.
Yeah.
You never know when we'll get a random like beeper message and go, "Hey, gotta go."
That's true. Yeah, because you were doing, you were like working on.
Copping it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was still copping it up.
Working on call, getting called out at 4 a.m. to drive across the state. Good times, Bill. Good times.
Yeah, no.
Anything particular stands out that you guys can think of the recordings on here? I know we re-recorded Unemployed and Mom's Boy later, but everything else, I mean, it sounds different on both. Like, they almost feel like 2 different versions of the songs because we kind of improved them, but they have their own kind of different feel to them on this one.
They definitely have a. It feels like we did it in 4 days. It sounds like we did it in 4 days. Just because we were I remember being super rushed because we had to get it recorded before the show, so we had like this self-imposed deadline. And I remember that adding a layer of stress to it. Trying to get through all this, all the different songs and everything. And if they were still, I want to say we're still putting final touches on songs, or at least some of them, or like it's only 2 real new songs. But I just remember that a lot of that adding to the stress of the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
The video you showed, and where Derek's playing that keyboard part that doesn't exist anywhere else except for in that album. I'm just looking at him going, why are you making my life difficult? Why do you hate me? He's like, I'll teach you. That fool never taught me that part.
No, he never did. But he just kind of came up with that. Like, when I remember showing up, Derek's like, yeah, we're going to do Feel Good, and we're just going to create it. And I'm like, well, what are we going to put on there? He goes, oh, I got this. And he just sits down and just throws this random clavichord and all this. I'm like, what is this? This is great, but what is it? He goes, oh, I came up with this yesterday. All right. Cool.
What's dumb about that song is that really the only thing that was concrete was Nick's vocal part.
Yeah.
He didn't do it because he like his mouth hurt or something.
He got his wisdom teeth taken out or had a rotten tooth or something like that.
But like everything else, like the drums were like the backbone for the whole thing, and then he improvised that keyboard part, and I just improvised the guitar part. And so like there was no structure to that song whatsoever, and I think there's even some studio magic after the fact to kind of move parts around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like there was no structure to that song whatsoever. Just like, oh, we're gonna record it. Sure. Yeah, that sounds like us. Yeah, this song that doesn't really exist. Yeah, let's record it.
But after we recorded it, though, then that kind of sort of became the template of how we played it live, kind of.
Yeah.
And I mean, minus a lot of extravagance, but turned it into a sort of song that Nick immediately, you know, as with everything we do, he immediately hated. He goes, "I don't want to do this anymore. Stop making me play it." And then
yeah, it's the best thing in the world until we record it, then it sucks.
oh yeah, and then
Because then it's like it has to be done, I think.
yeah.
Like, or you feel obligated to.
Yep. I don't remember what show it was around there, but Feel Good was, I had written it in the set list, and Nick comes up to me and goes, yeah, I'm not playing this. And then I'm like, well, tell Derek. And he comes up to Derek and goes, I don't want to do it. And then Derek goes, oh, start playing it. And he starts playing it. He goes, you son of a bitch.
That sounds like Derek, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Because Derek's not going to stop for anything. He's like, this is it.
Was it the first Village show or the second one where, like, everyone wrecked?
That's in the second one. That's the one we're gonna watch here in a little bit. If you guys are still around, where, yeah, I don't know what happened, but the one and only time that we were ever fell apart during a live show, during Let Go.
Was that this show?
Yeah, that was at this show.
The first?
The second Village show, the one on that we released the EP at. Yeah, we stopped for like a split second, and then you guys kind of figured it out. Jump back on the wagon there. But yeah, I don't know. Anything else? Any other thingamajiggers? Stories, memories.
It was the first thing I recorded with the band, but it's also like the biggest blind spot I have to it. Like when I look back at everything we've done, it's the one I have the least amount of memories for. I don't know.
That's true.
Like it's such a blur that I remember. I'm getting things mixed up. Like I don't remember because you said we did it over a series of weekends. For some reason in my head it was just like over the course of like a week, like 4 days in a week. So I don't even remember the details there. Like what actually happened. I'm mixing it up with something else, or I don't know.
Because I know that that one part in the beginning with Bill, Derek, and I was a Saturday, and then I want to say like the next weekend is when we moved over to my house, and then I think we knocked out bass and guitar. So to you, yeah, it might have been a 2-day smushathon, but for everything else, we did it another time. And then I want to say we met a third weekend. I don't think you were there, or maybe you were there. I don't know. And we just did straight vocals. But you might have been there for that. I'm not sure. I just know there's another video I have somewhere that I recorded on accident, but I'm glad I have it. I put the camera down, and I guess I'd hit record on accident, and it's the entirety of the three of us recording that version of My Snacks on there. And it's funny. Hearing Bill can't come up with the words right, and Derek's yelling at him, and everybody's just doing whatever we're doing. But yeah, it was a couple weekends, but it was quick though. It was really.
I want to say within like 2 weeks, Derek was working on it.
Yeah, and part of the other reason why it doesn't sound quite as good is other than some different equipment that we used on this one. Derek admitted, he goes, "Yeah, I don't care. I'm not putting as much effort in this." I'm like, "Oh, all right, thanks, man." He's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna spend a week with no sleep doing it." He goes, "This isn't worth that to me." I'm like, "Well, okay, did a good job anyway."
Yeah.
I mean, it's listenable. It's not like you can't listen to it. So.
No. If you listen to it, go ahead.
I think it's definitely the black sheep, just because everything that's on there existed in better quality somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like the overlooked or forgotten EP, just because, yeah, it's just it kind of existed for one purpose, and then everything. Then like we all kind of like, okay, mulligan. Let's do all that over again.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, if you don't listen to anything else, if you just listen to this, you're like, oh, this sounds pretty okay. And then you listen to anything else of ours, you go, no, that sounds like garbage.
Yeah, because it was what, like 8 months, and then we went to Blue Cherry.
Yeah, pretty much. It was the next spring we went to Blue Cherry. Yep. But one of the key differences that I like more on this one than the other one, because you played Tracy's keyboard, which had a whole different sound set, and so Unemployed, at least the intro to Unemployed, sounds like this 8-bit Nintendo-y sound, which was neat. But then you also were playing through Derek's pedal board, which then he took away from you because I guess you were stomping on it or something. But
well, yeah, he was putting a lot more expensive pedals in there. He's like, don't mess with these.
Don't break these.
But also, like, it also kept me from doing all the crazy bat noises and whatnot.
Oh, that's fine. We were okay with that. And then the keyboard part that he wrote in Mama's Boy, which I wish he would have re-recorded or taught you to record when we redid it in Blue Chair. There's like that weird keyboard solo that's in the middle of that song that just sounds so good, so crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That cool.
It's a very like church organ.
Yeah.
Like a up-tempo church organ thing.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Good stuff. Good stuff all around. Alrighty. I'm going to let you guys go for now. If you want to pop back in later, let's go for it. But I'm going to play through the EP, and I don't know if that's going to work through my phone while I'm got it going here. But we're going to play that, and then we're going to hit the village. So, thanks for dropping in, gents.
I think I'm
You're being summoned.
Say hi, everybody.
Hello. Alright. See you guys. Alright. How do I get out of this? I'm an old man who doesn't know how to use my phone. Oh. There we go. Is it done? There, it's done. Okay. Back to me. Ha! No, here we go. So, that's cool. I wanted to do that before. When we did the Your Music is Bad dealio last year. Man, my brain is now fried. I cannot remember anything. And then originally, this is like a small part. I mentioned it before that I kind of wanted to do when we did our 10-year anniversary as a band back in 2017. Before a lot of things happened, because I was planning that years in advance. I was like, oh, I want to have the whole band at my house, and we'll do a live concert, and we'll do this and this and this, and that didn't happen because everyone's busy and all kinds of stuff. We're all old and everything. But anyway, so let's dive right in. This is going to take some finagling. We're going to listen to the entirety of Feel Good, Make You Sweat, which, like I mentioned, is not available online. I might go ahead and put it available online at some point soon, but it's, as Travis said, everything that's on there is available on other EPs in a better quality. They're just different versions of it, except for Feel Good. Feel Good is not on anything else right now. Maybe we'll re-record that along with everything else that we've been re-recording, because I don't remember if I'd mentioned this before or not, but we are, or have actually already re-recorded all of Your Music is Bad. We recorded half of it, years ago at Blue Chair, and over the last, I guess it's been a year, that mostly Travis and I have been re-recording the last 5 songs, because we were going to do that for, again, these anniversaries. We were going to do that for the 10-year re-release of Your Music is Bad last year. Ran out of time, but now all of the instruments are recorded, except for keys, if we put keys on anything, and I need to finish my vocals. Every time I sit down to do it, I lose my voice or something dumb happens. Excuses, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Feel Good was not originally on that list, but now that I'm thinking about it, maybe stick that on there as well. But anyway, enough jibber jabber. Let's listen. Feel Good, Make You Sweat. That is not what I'm looking for. Let's go to vid only here. Here we go. We're going to make this work. I'm going to see if I can lower it down and chat a little bit over the top of it because I'm narcissistic and I have lots of stories to tell while we're going here. So let's do this. I'm going to have to bring this audio way down. So bear with me here. Bring this down. All right. And I gotta bring it way down. Or up in here. Hopefully it's loud enough that you can hear me over it. But hear this 8-bitty sound. And Bill is playing through a Yamaha keyboard and Derek's pedal board. All those weird sounds. He's going through a wah pedal and all kinds of stuff in there. All that mess. So gave Bill free reign of the keys here. So, excuse me, when we recorded, or wrote, I guess, Unemployed, that to me sounded like an intro song, more so than what we had been doing, sort of. At all of our live shows, we moved the set list around just a little bit, but we had essentially... we would open up with Black Rob and close with Jimmy, which wasn't terrible. If we would have done, I don't know, added something with Jimmy to extend the ending or something, it might have made it more impactful. But when we recorded, I keep saying recorded, when we wrote Unemployed, I'm like, this is a bouncy intro-y thing, and especially with the keyboard intro, I'm like, this could be a little bit more theatrical. This could open up shows if we really wanted to. So we moved Black Rob as a closer, since a lot of people were pretty familiar with it in the first place. But then Unemployed, at the first show that we played with Travis and Bill, we just kind of tossed that on there, and I'm like, all right, well, this is it now. We're doing Unemployed, and it felt like it worked well. I don't know if I asked anybody or if I just said this is what we're doing, because I feel like I did that a lot. But it worked, and it became our opener with very few exceptions, like the entire year, until we came up with a few other things. There were a few shows that we did some special intros. We opened up with Grandma once, we opened up with Let Go once, and they never quite worked as well as I would have liked them to, because they had a special intro to make them work. But Unemployed as an opener always seemed to set the pace pretty well and be like, hey, we're gonna dance, we're gonna have a good time, and do all kinds of fun stuff with it. Also, Unemployed as a song was kind of like Ken Part 2. They were both written essentially on the same day, or at least the beginnings of them were on the same day, and I'm pretty sure I had just had a rough day at work, or recently rough time. Nick and I were still working at Target at the time, and I was not a fan of most of management there. And then this song just makes complete references to working on the flow team, stocking shelves at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's just like, I hate this. So this, I felt like this was a part 2 of it, and whatnot. And Nick has joined the stream now, so that's cool. So hello, Nick. Glad you're in the chat there. You missed talking to us in the video, but I didn't know you were at work. But hello. Hope it doesn't wreck your your work day by listening to us. But I always loved this song, and I always loved to just kind of jam it into any set list, no matter how short it kind of got. 'Cause it's dancey. We always want dancey. Feel Good, the namesake of the EP. Lots of stories you could tell about this, I guess. It started out, well, I mean, that video told the story of where it came from. Nick was just kind of messing around at a practice or at a show, and we threw it in there, and we kept doing it. And then I was like, let's record it, because we needed to fill space in this EP, basically. And then Derek created a whole fancy pants arrangement for it. But that weekend, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, he got his wisdom teeth taken out, or he had some kind of tooth problem, and made himself completely unavailable to do things. We finally got him out between like super nap sessions to record bass for this, but he did not come back out to do the vocals. I'm like, this is your song, we need your vocals on it. So I don't remember if we just like, here's a temporary placeholder, or if we just decided this is what we're gonna do, but that's Travis right there doing his Nick impression. It's good enough. I always meant to go back and re-record Nick's vocals on top of it to give the full effect, but we never did. So, you know. Okay, so yeah, he's saying he was sick. Yeah. Nick was always sick for some reason or another. Or sleepy, or, you know, whatnot. But yeah, it turned into this like groovy little thing here. So that right there, that keys, those are Bill, the long, the that's Derek playing, I want to say it's like a clavichord. And no, Nick, there is no bass in here. There is, the bass that you hear in this is a keyboard bass. So no, Nick did not record. He's not on this track at all, which is the most ironic thing. Travis's little whittle-waddle guitar part on this is one of my favorite things that he's done, and it's neat. So I always loved it when we played live and he'd do that. Especially watching it, because it looks like he's just kind of wiggling his fingers, and I'm like, you're too good at the guitar and I hate you. Excuse me. What's next? My Snacks 09. This is so bad. Yes, Nick. Derek played everything on Feel Good. He played the bass keyboard part, he played that clavichord sound, and the drums, and then Bill had a keyboard part on that as well, so they did all that. But then Derek also did keyboards here on Mama's Boy. They split the keyboard part. There's a keyboard part that's Derek, and there's a keyboard part that's Bill. Actually, I don't know. It might just be the solo might be just Derek on Mama's Boy. But anyway, this was the first song from start to finish, from scratch, that we wrote as a 5-piece band. You know, we fixed up and finished Unemployed when we all got together, but this was the first song that we all wrote together. And this is the first of many songs that I couldn't figure out a vocal part, so I just took what Nick was doing on the bass. Basically, you know, bowling over him so that when you listen to the song, you hear me more than you hear him. So, sorry, Nick. This is just me edging you out of the band, is what it is. I do the same thing in The Leafy Illusion. Not a ton to say about this, I guess, other than I like both versions of this song equally, this one and the one that's on the self-titled EP. I wrote this when I was in a media communications class at UCA, because I hated that class and I didn't want to pay attention to it. And, yeah, I just sat there and wrote this. It's kind of based off of some comments that some ladies over the years had given to me, to the extreme. Obviously, you know, I didn't live a complete life like this, but I did live at home until I didn't move out until I was 30. No, I moved out a couple times, but this is kind of like an extreme version of what life could have been like. But yeah. I was always worried that my voice is going to crack in the song, and it usually does. Every time we play this song live, that part where Nick's just going doot, 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 I don't know why I would sit there and be like, it's all on you, Nick. Like he's doing something complicated, but he always looked like he's concentrating super hard, and it was just cracking me up. So I always like to bring attention like he's about to do something fantastic, and then instead it jumps over to Travis. So, teamwork. Teamwork, gentlemen. What was I going to mention? Oh, we wrote this song, and we were all proud of it, and then people didn't seem to like it as much of our other songs, or it took some time for people to like it, and it kind of upset me just a little bit, because I was like, so far we've been on par, like everybody liked all of our songs. Anyway, hold on. This right here, the keyboard part, this is all Derek going crazy. That's missing from the the Blue Chair recordings, and I don't know why. I think we were running out of time. As we had mentioned earlier, most of everything we've done has been on an extreme time crunch. In fact, every album we've done until the last one, our T3 Forever, and then this remake of Your Music Is Bad, we were on an extreme crunch of time to try to finish everything, and it was really crappy that we would do it like that. But greatness would always come out of it. I think there's something after this track, too. Because I always like to stick something at the end of these CDs. Yeah. This is My Snacks from Your Music Is Bad, but in reverse. Sounds like I'm yelling angry German things. Yeah, okay, so that was that. That came about when we did Your Music Is Bad, in the folder, when Derek had done all the mixing and everything, he's like, I have a bunch of different versions of My Snacks, which, you know, is just like the 15 seconds of me doing that vocally. You know, he's like, this one has reverb, this one has this. And then he had a bunch of weird versions where he was like just flipping things around. And he made that one where the entire thing was in reverse. I'm like, what are we going to do with that? And then we put this one together, and I was like, I'm sticking this at the back of the CD, and I'm not going to tell anybody. That's one of my favorite things to do when we put out an album, is I love to just hide little things into the CDs, and not tell anybody about them until it gets released, and then have them come and like Robert, what was this? Or what is that? I did that with a few things, and your music is bad. I did that on Feel Good. And T3 Forever has a bunch of stuff jammed in between tracks as well. It's not on the versions that I sent to my bandmates, but it is on the online stream thing. So if you have not heard Nick, Bill, or Travis, the in-between tracks, there are in-between tracks on that album as well. You'll just have to stream it from there, I guess. So anyway, we recorded Your Music is Bad. Pulling up the next things here. Like I said, in preparation for the Village show, we tried to do the best we could, and we got it quickly. We finished recording and mixing everything, I think, like the week of the show. And again, in usual T3 fashion, I remember the day of the show, I was still burning CDs and putting labels on them like 2 hours before I left to go to the show, because that's how bad I am about this kind of stuff. And what was the other thing? To help, because yeah, like I mentioned, this show was titled Jenny Meets Jessica. You know, it was Spinning Jenny was like the main headliner, and then Jessica 7 was going to play before them. So I think they both had like hour-long sets or something like that. They gave us a cool 40, which was great. And then the band opening before us was the band Little Monsters, who later rebranded as, I was about to say Fire to Reason, but that's not right. I don't remember, but they rebranded later with a different singer, and they had a more success afterwards. They did some things, but anyway, I'm still vaguely salty about this, but I'm like, it doesn't matter. We got to know the folks at Little Monsters at that show, and they were really cool, really funny, friendly folks. And they're like, oh, cool, where have you guys been? Or this, and they're like, oh, this is our first show. I'm like, your first show is at the Village, really? Okay. Even though, it's one set up by friends and they were invited to it, but it still just cracked me up. Sorry, I'm getting thirsty. But in order to help that along, because we had to, the guy in Spinning Jenny was like, all right, well, I'm renting out the Village. He also bought time on the radio, ad time, like on the Edge, and we showed up in commercials for on the Edge for the show, and I was like, this is fantastic. But he spent a lot of money in this. He's like, all right, to recoup some of this, we got to sell so many tickets and do all this kind of thing. So we're like, all right, well, we need to get that money back in there. And in order to help that, we did a pre-sale of tickets, and to help facilitate, because always with friends, you're like, hey, come to my show, and they're like, yeah, okay, maybe. But if you get them to pre-buy a ticket, then they feel more obligated to actually show up, and if they don't show up, at least you got their money. Kind of a poopy thing, but also it's poopy saying, yes, I'm going to come to your show, and then you don't come to my show, and you're down the street at a bar instead. Lots of people who used to not come to our shows. So what I did is I'm like, well, we're going to put this EP out, and in order to do that, I'm like, why don't we give out a free coupon thing? If you pre-order, or if you buy a pre-sale ticket, you'll get a copy of the EP for free. Because, we recorded and mixed the album ourselves, so it didn't cost anything. To burn the CDs didn't really cost anything, because, I burned them on regular CDs. And, to print and do all that kind of stuff maybe cost me, I don't know, $30-$40 to do everything else. It's like, that's fine. We'll eat the cost on that. And it worked. We pre-sold a whole bunch of tickets. We had a whole lot of people show up at the Village. It was a great time. And then I did, to help also promote it on our end, I put this awful video together. Warning, jokingly I'm warning, but also somewhat serious. If you have a problem with seizures, do not watch this next clip, because you will have a seizure if you have epilepsy or something like that. It's that one. It's that video, guys, if you remember this. But it's, I don't know, just watch this. This is our promo for the Village. All right. So, oops. I wasn't kidding. That promo, I thought it was funny putting that together, and then I put that online, and everyone's like, why would you do such a thing? It's too much flashing in there, and I didn't think about that. So, if anything, it gives you a headache if you watch it in a dark room. So all of that together, and then we played The Village for a second time, which again was a ton of fun to play at. You'll see throughout this, and I guess I can do some running commentary on it, and then I'll walk away a little bit because I've got to use the restroom. Like you needed to know that. We had a super fun time. 2009, like I was mentioning at the beginning of the stream, was, I think, the most fun I've had with T3. We were all getting along and all hanging out together as much as we could, and it was so much fun. We got to play a bunch of shows. We had so many opportunities that we probably should not have gotten, but we stumbled into. It was the right time. We were in the right place at the right time, I guess to say. The Little Rock music scene was kind of there at the moment, and I'm sure it continued on, but it's different now. It makes me really wonder if we were still playing live and doing things, how we would manage that, because literally every single venue that we've played at ST3, with the exception of the Rev Room, and Hibernia, do not exist anymore. Every single one of them has shut down, and that's a real bummer, because there were a lot of really great venues. There were some not great venues, but we had a great time. We were invited to come back to different places. We made a lot of friends. We did a lot of fun stuff, and it was just a real good time. In 2009, we were just really having a ball. So here is, to close out this little streamy stream, is our show from The Village. Yeah, it's about 40 minutes, so strap yourselves in if you haven't watched it. It's also on our YouTube page, but, you know, I'll pop back on at the end, I suppose, as well. But here is the Village, the Voyage Village show, 2009, November the 13th. So let's take a look.
Somebody just yelled Derek?
Huh?
Somebody just yelled Derek?
Huh?
Did somebody just yell Derek?
They always yell Derek. Because Derek's my best friend.
Baby! Bass! Killing my bass.
Pop in for just a second. Okay, so that that just popped in there was I reused mini DV tapes around this time because that's what I was recording on, and I must have taped over, for lack of other tapes, I taped over I think that was Reticent. I think it was a practice at the practice space, and I recorded over it, but the tape glitched for a quick second, so that was that was a small snippet of their practice there. So that's what that was. What I'm about to do here in just this, well, at the end of this song with that onesie, I totally broke the zipper on this onesie at this show. Because instead of pulling the zipper down, I just yanked it from the top and tore it open like I was Hulk Hogan. And that's fine because that onesie was slightly smaller than it should have been, and it was constantly giving me like a wedgie and it hurt. You know, more useless information you guys didn't really want to know. I have no idea where that fog came from. There's a fog machine. Somebody. This is my favorite entrance of Ryan as the Bee ever. He did such a fantastic job. Especially with this fog. He just kind of, because over to the side, there to the side of where Nick and Bill are, is the entrance to the stage, and there's like that room right there. And so Ryan just emerging from the darkness, and he picked up his hand and starts whittling around his little fingers, is the best ever. Creepy is what it is. And I loved having Ryan be the Bee on stage. As soon as I got that Bee costume, I was like, all right, he needs to do this. Because at our first show that we played, he got up on stage and danced around in front of the stage like a crazy person. And was super drunk and running around. So then when I got the Bee costume, I was like, here, do that on stage, but dance around. And he and Mike used to fight. I don't know if he did it at this show, but, you know, he would buzz around and bother us until Mike would come and save us and beat up Ryan with like a bat or something like that. And then over the years, as Ryan got busy and he couldn't be there, then other people would put on the Bee costume, but it was never exactly the same because, you know, there's that. And you can also see Ryan is holding it together because he broke the zipper on the Bee costume like a show before this. Because that's what happens. Yeah, right here. Zip! And I broke the zipper right there. And later I'm like, oh, I can't put this back on. I still have that onesie, but the zipper is totally broken now. Because you guys need to hear panting over this. That's what you need to hear.
Yeah! I think that was real enough for you guys. Like my strap stayed off for that song.
But I like these. I like these.
We don't like it. I'm so sorry. We're gonna sing something scary. Something real and something scary that's gonna keep you up tonight. Because you're gonna be like, oh, it's creepy out here.
Now this might be the first time that we did the spooky intro to the Mammoth song. It might not be, but I always loved doing this. Creating like a heavy metal sort of intro to the most happy, bouncy song. Just always seemed really funny to me. Ooh. I mentioned earlier that on that Your Music Is Bad is no longer on streaming services. I'm sure I've told this story before, but I can tell it again. It's because of this song. El Mamut is not. It's the only cover. Well, it's one of two covers that we've ever played. The other one being "Smells Like," which is actually the theme to Cartoon Planet, which was the predecessor to Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Anyway, El Mamut is a song from, I think, Chile or somewhere in Central America. It was a meme before they were memes. It was a YouTube video before there was YouTube. It was like a flash video, and you can find it on YouTube now. It's El Mamut. It's either Chiquitito or Pequeñito. It's labeled a lot of different ways, but basically, it's the same song, but I translated it into English and changed it up just a little bit and made it a rock version. And we played this for years, and because I always assumed it was just somebody created a thing, I didn't realize that an actual band performed this, and this was like a song of theirs that they had on an album and did all kinds of things with it. Because so many years later, the folks at CD Babies, where we were hosting Your Music Is Bad at the time, they contacted me. They're like, hey, so we just got a letter from their lawyer saying that this is copywritten and that they want to shut us down because do you have permission? He's like, do you have permission to have this cover? I was like, no. I had no idea that this was a copywritten song. He goes, all right, well, we're not going to fight it. We're just going to take your whole album down. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Because, yeah, for about an hour, I was like, oh, no, I'm going to court. I'm going to get sued by some lawyer somewhere. And most likely this was never going to be a thing. And I was never in any danger of getting sued or anything. Because, honestly, music copyright between countries, is that something that's super enforceable? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not, but I'm like, So, thanks to this song, which is not our song, but it was one of our more popular ones live, that's why Your Music Is Bad is not on any streaming. And that's also another small reason why I wanted to re-record Your Music Is Bad, to re-upload it, but then we'll have to just do it without El Mamut and just put that as a free download somewhere else, so that the album doesn't get taken back down. So, if you hadn't heard that story or didn't know, yes, T3 got into some legal trouble back in 2013, 2014 maybe, something like that. I don't know. This was also the time, as you see there, Mike's wearing the banana suit, the SpongeBob mask, and skeleton gloves. This is, when he'd come out and do the signs, he would just put on a bunch of costumes. He started applying that to the manly grandma outfit eventually, where he would just wear everything in the costume trunk, and just manly grandma became just this disturbing, horrible monster every time that he'd come out on stage, and it was just terrifying. And there's me pointing out that nobody's sitting at our merch table, so please don't steal. Yeah, that was always a thing. Nobody ever stole anything from us, as far as I could tell, which is great. So thanks, folks, for not stealing my junk. Okay, so here is where things went wrong during this song. This is the only album, or the only live show where we fall apart. And I want to say it's going into the second verse. And we'll have to listen and figure out, because I can't remember what it is, but there was a problem. And the song falls apart. So watch for that here in just a second. Where, yeah, things happen. So here, check this out. Okay, so maybe it's in the third verse. Oh, yeah, there's me turning on the camera because it died in the middle of the recording. So from here on out, it'll splice back to wide shots every once in a while. But yeah, before the third verse, I guess, is when it happens. There was a dude up there. You see me running now? He looked pissed because I was shaking my junk in front of his girlfriend, and he was not happy. Alright, so I don't know what happened there. I can't ever remember what happened there. But it was something to do with, you know, there's the natural break, and anytime you play a song where everybody cuts out and then comes back in, it's a matter of, could be a real tricky thing if somebody hesitates, which somebody did, and I still can't figure out what it was. I think I briefly hesitated. Derek didn't come back in on whatever it is, 1 or whatever. And then it was silent, you know, the split second silence, so I was like, oh no, what happened? I was afraid that I was way off because I wasn't in front of the monitors. And because Derek, during practices, if I'm not singing at the same time or the same tempo or whatever, he would just stop and yell at me. So I was like, surely he's not doing this at a show. Surely he's more professional than that. That was not the case. Hey, there's Jezzy. This dude in the back was our drummer. Well, okay, well, there you go. So, your drummer was not thrilled that I was shaking my bits at, I guess, his girlfriend or somebody out there. So, there's that. But yeah, I have no idea what happened. But luckily, Travis was quick to be like, I'm just going to pick back up. And then Bill came in, and then everybody just kind of jumped in there. And then you see you kind of haphazardly jump back into the chorus. You can hear me there yelling chorus at everybody, and we just kind of, and then picked it up. But, you know, it worked out. It was fine.
Who wants to sing with us? Then we're going to sing a song. It's really easy.
I like this camera angle here because it makes it look like there are more people than there were. There were a lot of people, but it was a good show.
We're going to sing a little song, and you guys are going to sing with us, and the words are really easy, and it's time to sing, okay? Here we go. Crunch, crunch. Munch, munch, munch. It's time for lunch, lunch, lunch.
It always made me happy as the more time went on that we would play this song. The A, people already knew what it was, but B, if we put this song in the middle of our set when people were like, hey, I'm going to have a good time, hearing the crowd sing this with me is my favorite. Having a crowd sing any of your songs with you is great, but having a crowd sing something as stupid as this is the best. Because why not? And then here's us being somewhat current at the time, we're doing this little dance from, I don't remember, it was like a Turkish singer, but then it became a meme. I think it was in World of Warcraft that people did it afterwards. So we did it on stage, and you can always watch when Bill comes in, he does it the opposite of what we're doing, and then almost always about knocks me off the stage. Oh no, I did it right at the time. Most of the time Bill would do it backwards, which was always great. Bill is the master of uncoordinated dancing that just works. I want to take, now that I'm thinking about it, I want to take that clip of him doing his little dance, and you know how you'll find these different pages like on Facebook or YouTube or wherever where we'll have somebody doing a dance and they'll, like, so-and-so goes with anything. I want to do that with Bill and put any kinds of random songs behind it, and it'll work, I think. Because he's already not dancing in time with us, so why not put it to, you know, punk or, you know, some kind of other thing where it looks like he's punch dancing. And now he's wearing out. Them skills, that's right, Bill. These are your skills, and that's where you go. And then after you would dance, Bill would go sit at his keyboard and be like, "I'm tired" for the rest of the show, which is fine. He throws it all out there. He's like, I give it my all. Snaps off his suspenders. I'm done. Peace out, folks.
Mr. Keller is the man. I tell you he is.
But I will say, Bill's dancing and things, in part, is what got him his wife. Sort of. I think it helped. Because he was doing that at the show that she met him at. Oh yeah. We were playing at the Village the same night that Dane Cook was headlining Altel Arena. And while Dane Cook is a funny dude, I feel like anybody who came to our show got the better show that evening. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Now, also convincing Mike to be Manly Grandma is another one of my favorite parts about this band. Is, you know, when we first started doing this, Mike filmed the shows for me, and he loved, and still loves this song. I don't know what it is about it, but he's like, this is a great song, and he loves it. And so he would sing, and you could hear him over the camera, so I'm like, why don't you come on stage and sing it with us? So I got him to do it, and then over time, you know, it evolved into whatever he's wearing now, and he would always get up there and do it. Mike's been my best friend for like a long time, and I don't see him anymore because he lives up in Seattle, like a jerk. But it always meant the world to me to have him come and be part of our shows as often as he could come. He was a very busy dude all the time, you know, being a real adult, unlike me and my ugly pants and stupid rock band. But he would come out and do this, and I always appreciated it, especially because Mike helped me start the band, and then, you know, he immediately ducked out because he's like, nope, not doing this, and he saw where it was going. But then we started playing shows. He's like, yeah, I'll help you out, I'll do this. And Mike was at almost every show we ever did, and he was great and helped out, and it was awesome. And I miss him. I miss all these guys. This was the first show, again, these are useless details, but this was the first show that Manly Grandma wore that outfit. The year before, I was at I think Goodwill or somewhere, and I bought this big purple muumuu dress thing that Mike was bursting out of the seams while he was wearing. But that's what he wore as Manly Grandma, and the red wig that I wore at the beginning of this show. And he wore that at every show until a week before we performed at the Village. We played a show at Downtown Music, and one of the opening bands and their friends got a little bit more drunk probably than they should have, and they got very grabby. And so when Mike got to the edge of the stage, like their guitarist, I think, or maybe it was their drummer, decides that he's gonna grab at Manly Grandma's fake boobs and shake them. I mean, not like in a gross way, but he was just dancing around, and Mike let him shake out, and it was the Mickey Mouse gloves that Ryan was wearing earlier, and they fell out. So Mike never wore that same outfit after that, and I called that was the death of Manly Grandma version 1. And then Mike's like, you need to buy me a new muumuu for this big show. So I bought him that whatever he's wearing, and he put that wig on. That was from like a Halloween costume, I think. Not my wig, but I think I have it now. He's just like, I don't want this anymore. But yeah, more details.
And it makes me feel something.
Here we go. Feel good. Make you sweat.
It makes me feel good. Do you feel good? I feel good. Do y'all feel good? Have we made you sweat yet? Let me ask you this. I feel good. I make you sweat. I feel good. I make you sweat. I feel good. I make you sweat. I feel good. 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 I feel good. I make you sweat. I feel good. I make you sweat. I feel good. I make you sweat. I feel good. 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 I make you sweat. I feel good. I make you sweat. I feel good. I make you sweat. I feel good.
I always loved how our Feel Good evolved into a natural place to introduce the band, especially in the upcoming shows when Travis added guitar parts to it and things. And then one of my favorite things Derek has ever said at a show here in just a second.
And that's okay. He is better than us.
Because I'm better than you. Thanks, Derek. We all played a character on stage. Sort of. Derek always would wear that rocker wig and a wife beater and the tattoo sleeved shirt. And for a long time he had like a million fake like nose and ear piercings and stuff like that. But I think he stopped wearing because they were pinching. Bill did it for a while too, but then he's like, no. Nick, you had a hard time, I feel like, at first concentrating on how to sing and play at the same time. But by the end of the year, you were playing a simplified bass part to Feel Good, and it worked. I think you were just a man, and still are, I guess, of like, repetition, and then once you get it down, you get all fancy and you do things. But this was still in the beginning of even playing that song, so yeah, I don't think there was even any idea of putting something in there. I don't know if you had even heard Feel Good at this point, the recording, maybe like once, because, you know, we'd finished recording this like a week before this show, so I don't know. You can hear a nice, even mix of everything through the camera, surprisingly. You can hear pretty much everything somewhat level, which I'm sure is what it sounded like to the people in the crowd. But one of the things that was done at the show is they made a recording for us of the feed from the board. And I don't know how it was for everybody else, but for our mix, for some reason the keyboard was way too high. I don't know if the guy just didn't like us, or if he didn't get that the keyboard was not one of the main parts, or that Bill was going to do what he did, which was, at this point in time, didn't have a whole lot of parts. He just kind of piddled around on the keys, which is fine as background, but when it's over everything else, it's just a lot of noise. So I was really excited. I was going to, when I was told they were going to record the audio from the show, I was like, yes. We'll put out another live CD, kind of like we had done with our first show. But that did not happen because it was like 70% keyboard and 30% the rest of the band. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I did release a live version of Black Rob because it sounded pretty mixed well. But other than that, I was like, this isn't going to work. No slam on Bill, but that mixing was poop. You always piddle. I know you did, Bill. You did good.
And then you can, of course, forget Spinning Jenny coming up after that. We're excited about it. We're glad today. We're so fortunate and kind and loving enough to let us come out here, even though we suck. And you're all getting it firsthand.
And you know what I just realized? This happened in November of 2009. They told me, they're like, we're going to make this an annual event. I don't remember if this was the first or if it was just going to be the first of many, or if they'd done it before. But I remember being told that they were going to do this again. And then they did the next summer, like late summer, maybe it was in August or something. But unfortunately, the timetable did not fit or work for us. And that made me sad because I wanted to play this show again, especially to go to the Village. But I wasn't back from school yet, or it like overlapped by like one weekend or something like that. But we could have played Jenny Meets Jessica 2 at the Village in 2010, but we weren't able to. And I always forget about that. Among a lot of other T3 shows that we didn't get to play, that we prepared for, that I've forgotten over the years. I'm like, oh yeah, this was going to happen and didn't happen. This show was going to happen and didn't happen. But that's okay. And it wasn't long after this show that Mama's Boy came out of our set rotation. Because again, I didn't feel like people were liking it. And it made me sad. I think it was like a couple of years before we played again live. Here's Tired Bill. Here's a fun fact, Bill. You're in awe of me able to remember all these lyrics. I don't. I so often would forget constantly. Especially the first couple of times that we would play a song, I had to write all the lyrics down on cue cards and constantly look at them. The first 2 or 3 times that we played this song and Space Adventure and Ken, could not remember the words at all because I'm dumb. But thanks anyway. Another useless fact, that I liked Travis's guitar solo in this song so much that was his ringtone for a long time. It might still be, but I like it because it's cool. He wrote cool stuff. My voice starting to crack. There you go.
Thank you guys for putting up with our crazy antics for the last couple of minutes. We are also known as the crappiest band ever to hit the stage. Yeah! It don't get much worse than us, I promise you.
Do I still have all the colored pants and shoes? Well, yes, I do. They are all in a box. My attic, I'm pretty sure. I tried some of them on, I think like a year or so ago, and they still kind of fit. Sort of. But yeah, I still have all of them. I had quite a few pairs of those pants by the end. But some of them were smaller that I didn't want to wear, and they were less comfortable. But those red ones, like the most comfortable pants I've ever worn in my life. They're fantastic. Not too tight, not too baggy. They just were the right fit. And those shoes, I got those custom made on online through Converse because they match the pants. Bill, you say that you didn't know what you were doing. Well, that's okay, because right here, I don't know what I'm doing. I could never figure out what to do at the end of this. So I'm like, I'll just do a crab walk. That's dumb. And I kept hurting my back, because I had a very sore back at this point in time. That's okay. It was the end of the show, and we were tired, and nobody cared anymore. That would always give me such whiplash, because I would go way too hard headbang at the end of this song. I always regret it.
Thank you guys very much.
Alright. So, that's that. Alright, folks. So 10 years ago, that all happened 10 years ago. We did the Feel Good EP. We played, ooh, what did I just do? We played at the Village. We had a blast. We continue to have a blast doing what we're doing now. All kinds of fun, silly, happy things going on. So thanks for popping in. This was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. This has been like 2 hours now, I guess. And that's cool. I'm down with that. Even though we're not playing live anymore, maybe one day we will. I don't know if we ever will or not. As I mentioned, we continue to record. All of our stuff is up for free download at our Bandcamp page. Most of our albums are streaming on pretty much every major streaming outlet. For some reason, T3 Forever is not on Amazon Music, which is the one that I use a little bit more. I think it's on Spotify, though. I don't know. There's some weird issues. I got to get that ironed out. But we're everywhere else. But you can download them for free if you don't have them. Now, whether you're watching this right now, which is a handful of people, or if you're watching this on YouTube later or on Facebook later, thanks for popping in. Thanks for watching. It's been a hoot and a half, a hoot-ho, if you will. The only thing next to keep an eye out for is we'll do another Black Friday sale like we do every year. Maybe if I can remember this time, because I've got a box of old T3 merch that I need to dump. So I'm gonna do something with that, as well as we are finishing up recording the remaster remake version of Your Music Is Bad and You Should Feel Bad. I don't think you can see it very well from here. If you can see that's gonna be super blurry. There's my little chart. You can see the guitar and the drums are done. Bass is halfway done, sort of. It just depends on Nick's schedule. Travis has recorded a version of the bass, and we're waiting on Nick. So all that's left after that are some... I've got to get on point and do vocals, and then if we're going to put any keyboard parts in there to finish that up. So yeah, I might do another stream here in the future just to do other things. But we have more to come. T3 is hobbling along at a very slow pace, but we are still around. We are still doing things. So technically, we are still a band, and I'm gonna hold on to that for as long as I can because why not? But anyway, so thanks guys for popping in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's been fun. It's been great, and I am losing my voice, and it smells so bad in here right now because my dog is just not having it being in this room right now. But it's like 18 degrees outside, and he's too cold for him to be out there. So anyway, thanks for popping in, and we'll see you guys around. Thanks, guys.